suppose a lot of my poems about war, not just war in the streets, war in the world, but also I feel there's a war going on where the elderly are concerned. And when I first wrote this, I couldn't decide whether to call it Care of the Elderly or Death Tax. I will call it for the time being Care of the Elderly. Have you been to the toilet, lovey? No, I found it difficult to get out of the cupboard. What is the problem? You've got a top shelf up there. You only have to stand on the bed. But the bed is attached to a filing cabinet where my medicines are kept. Well, I suppose you could use the bottom drawer for the loo. I had thought of that, but I didn't know how watertight it was going to be. It might have run across the cupboard floor. We don't want that. The staff will be very cross to see liquid running across the hospital ward floor. Where is the lavatory paper going to hang? You're not thinking straight. All you need to do is drape the lav paper on the large stapler. And if you run out of paper, you could use the photocopier, A4 paper. But don't let the admin staff find out. They count the sheets. All these things worry me. I got told off by the catering staff. Oh no. What are you moaning about now? Well, they delivered my dinner, baked bean curry and rice. I couldn't eat it all. Now, Mrs. Jones, what did you do? I hid it in the bottom shelf of the filing cabinet and then forgot. The catering staff came in. I lied, said it had been taken away. She left, but I don't think she was happy. Oh no, what happened? I bumped into the cabinet in the night. I was looking for my bed jacket and slippers. I thought I would go for a walk. You can't do that. You know you're not allowed to walk out of the cupboard. I couldn't stand being in the cupboard any longer. Well, as I put my slippers on, I noticed this brown sludge-like mess straining through the cabinet drawer. It stunk of curry, or more like my old freshly dropped manure. Oh God, what am I going to do with you? There were beans in my slippers. I couldn't get out. My feet were so stinky, messy and cold. But surely a member of staff had locked you in? But I didn't know I was locked in. Patients in wards are not locked in. Well, they should be. How can I do my job if they're not locked in? What if I need a bedpan? You shouldn't need a bedpan in this cupboard. You can use one of those shelves or cabinet drawers. But remember not to use too much A4. If you lock me in, it's like being in prison. How would I be heard in an emergency or wanted help in the night? But you're old. What help will you need? You're going to die. You're lucky you've got a cupboard. Some patients are in bins, and they're not even on wheels. It is so difficult to get them out into the corridors. It would be easier if you just died, and then you wouldn't have to worry about Brown's elderly care program. You see, we can transfer you straight from the cupboard to the crematorium. Don't I even have the opportunity of going to the mortuary? Oh, you're a bit demanding, aren't you? You just count your chickens and be grateful You're not being battery fed. At least your food and lavatory paper's been kept warm in the filing cabinet. And you're not running round like a headless chicken with all your feathers plucked out. One last thing I meant to ask you. Have you paid your death tax? I'm not sure. You had to sign a form as you were transferred into the cupboard. Somebody did hand me a form, but I didn't have my glasses with me. Never mind. Before you die, could you leave the form in the top shelf alongside the A4 lavatory paper? The remains of the curry, we can give that to the farmer for his chickens to eat as a treat. But I haven't died yet. It won't be long, and it will save time later on, as the politicians and lawyers have informed the hospital authorities there is going to be a lot of paperwork involved in the death tax. Death rattle. I suppose it really ought to be called the death tax, because I think it was discussed round about Brown's reign. Thank you.